trade station floated in deep space, far from any major planet. It was a place where rules were loose, and people came to buy and sell all kinds of things. Some came for rare tech, some for food or strange alien pets. Others came for things that were not allowed in most parts of the galaxy. Aaron was a young human engineer. He didn't care much for the noise or the bright signs of the station. He just wanted to find a few parts for his ship. His small freighter, the Silver Wing, needed repairs. He walked quickly, keeping his head low. But then he passed by a strange booth. It was quiet, surrounded by shadows. There was no tech, no metal, just cages. Inside them were beings. Some looked like animals, others more like people. One of them made a soft sound. Aaron turned his head. In the corner of the last cage sat a small alien girl. Her skin was pale gray with dark spots. Her hair was white and messy. Her face was turned down, but her eyes, they did not move. They were cloudy. She was blind. A man beside the cage laughed when he saw Aaron staring. Interested in that one? She's useless. Blind, slow, and not even pretty. That's why she's cheap. Aaron felt something in his chest. Not anger, but a kind of sadness. He looked again. The girl sat still, her hands in her lap. She didn't react to the voices, didn't cry. She had accepted her place. "What's her name?" Aaron asked. "Don't know. The last owner called her thing. She's some kind of royal blood, they say. Princess of a fallen world. Now she's just trash." Aaron didn't know why he said it, but the words came out. "I'll take her." The man blinked. "Serious? You want that one?" Aaron nodded. He handed over some credits, enough for tools, maybe even a fuel cell. But he didn't care anymore. Opened the cage himself. The girl flinched as he reached out, but he only touched her gently on the arm. "Come," he said softly. "You're free now." She looked up, confused. She couldn't see him, but she tilted her head, as if trying to feel his voice. Then slowly, she stood. Aaron led her through the station. People stared, some laughed, others whispered, but he ignored them. She followed him quietly, one hand holding his arm. They reached the Silver Wing. It wasn't a big ship, but it was clean and warm. As they stepped inside, the girl stopped and asked in a soft voice, "What do you want me to do?" Aaron turned. "Nothing. You're safe now. You don't belong to anyone." She stood still for a moment. Then she whispered, "You bought me." "I did," he said honestly, "but not to own you. I didn't like seeing you in that cage." She didn't answer. Her hand shook a little. Aaron showed her to a small room on the ship. It had a soft bed, some blankets, and gentle lights. "This is yours," he said. "If you need anything, just ask." "What's your name?" she asked. "And you?" She was quiet, then said Ellery. "Nice to meet you, Ellery," he said with a smile. Ellery touched the walls, the bed, the floor. Everything was soft and quiet. She sat down and took a deep breath. It was the first safe breath she had taken in years. Over the next few days, Aaron fixed parts of the ship while Ellery stayed inside. She didn't ask for much. She listened to the sounds, the hum of the engine, the soft taps of tools, the beep of monitors. One morning she asked, "Can I walk around the ship?" Aaron smiled. "Of course. Let me guide you." He made a simple cane for her using spare parts. It was light, with a sensor that gave a soft buzz when near walls. She took it slowly, learning the layout. Within a day she could move without help. She even started helping. She could hear when an engine wasn't balanced. She told Aaron when something sounded wrong. Her ears were sharp, her memory strong. She remembered steps, turns, buttons, dash everything. One night, as they sat eating a warm meal, Ellery spoke softly. "Why did you help me?" Aaron paused. "'Cause you looked like you needed it." "Many looked," she said. "No one helped." He nodded. "Sometimes people forget to care." Ellery reached out, touching the edge of the table. "This ship, it feels peaceful. I built it to be that way," he said. "You can stay as long as you want." She turned her head toward his voice. "Thank you, Aaron." He smiled again. "You're welcome." For the first time in a long while, Ellery slept without fear. And for the first time in his life, Aaron felt like he had done something truly right, but he didn't know yet. This was just the beginning. Days passed on the Silverwing, and Ilari began to move more confidently through the ship. Aaron watched her with quiet amazement. She remembered each hallway, each turn, and each room like she could see it in her mind. Though blind, she never bumped into walls anymore. One morning, Aaron was fixing the left engine's core when Ilari stood near the door and said, "Something's wrong." Aaron looked at her. "What do you mean?" She tilted her head. "The sound. It's not the same. The beat is too fast. Like it's shaking inside." Aaron checked the core again. After a few moments, his eyes widened. "You're right. One of the stabilizers is off." He looked back at her. "How did you hear that from the hallway?" "I listen. It's how I survive," she said simply. Aaron nodded with respect. "You have a gift." Ilari didn't reply. She just stood quietly. But a soft smile touched her lips. Every evening, Aaron made warm food and shared it with her. She ate slowly and never asked for more, but she always said thank you. One night, Aaron handed her something small. "Here, made this for you." She touched it carefully. It was a soft cube, filled with memory beads that played soft sounds when pressed. Music from Earth, calming winds, the gentle call of birds. It was something she could enjoy without needing sight. She pressed one of the corners. A slow, peaceful tune filled the room. Ilari held the cube close to her chest. Her hands trembled. "This is beautiful," she whispered. Aaron smiled. "You deserve beautiful things." Tears formed in her eyes, but she wiped them quickly. The next day, they docked at a nearby trade post to refuel. Ilari stayed on the ship while Aaron stepped out to find supplies. While he was gone, a group of visitors passed by the docked ship. Some were humans, others alien traders. Two of them looked inside the open hatch and saw Ilari. "Hey, look," one said, laughing. "It's that blind girl from the old auctions. Someone actually kept her." Another one whistled, thought she'd be dead by now. Ilari didn't move or answer. She sat still, her hands resting on her lap. But inside, her heart pounded. Their voices brought back painful memories, cold rooms, harsh words, and always being told she was worthless. She waited until their laughter faded, when Aaron returned. He noticed her silence. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Some people came. They remembered me." Aaron's face darkened. "What did they say?" "They laughed," she said softly. Aaron sat down across from her. "Ilari, you're not what they say. You're kind, smart, and stronger than you know." She looked toward his voice. "Why do you speak like that to me?" He answered honestly, "Because it's true." A long pause filled the room. Then she whispered, "Thank you." From that day, Ilari began to help more around the ship. She listened to the hum of the systems, detected changes before they became problems, and even repaired one of the communication panels with just her hands and voice instructions from Aaron. "You learn fast," he told her. "I like fixing things." She replied soon. She asked for old tech parts. Aaron gave her broken tools and wires. She sat for hours, touching each piece, learning how they worked. Within a week, she created a small vibrating map of the ship. When she placed it on her palm, it buzzed differently for each room. "It helps me feel where I am," she explained. Aaron was amazed. "Ilari, you're a genius." She smiled shyly. "Maybe just curious." One evening, while eating together, Aaron said, "Do you want to go somewhere special?" Ilari paused. "Where? You'll see." "Well, not see, but feel it." "It's a surprise." She looked nervous. "I don't go out much. Trust me," he said gently. "We'll be safe." She thought for a moment, then nodded. The next day, they flew toward a nearby moon. It wasn't on any major map. Aaron had visited it once during his travels and remembered a peaceful valley there as they landed. He helped her down the ramp. The air was warm and a soft breeze brushed past them. "Come," he said, holding her hand. They walked slowly, guided her over smooth paths. Flowers grew along the sides, and the ground was soft. The valley was filled with strange but gentle sounds, alien birds, rustling leaves, and flowing water. Ellery tilted her head.
Wow.
"It's beautiful here." He smiled. "I thought you'd like it." Aaron pulled out a small box from his bag and placed it in her hands. "Open it," she did. Inside was a necklace with soft glowing stones. Not bright, just warm. Each stone gave off a faint musical note when touched. "These are sound crystals," he said. "I found them years ago and saved them. I made this for you." She touched each one. Music flowed gently into the air. She held it close and whispered, "No one ever gave me something like this." "Then it's time someone did," he replied. She wore it around her neck, smiling through quiet tears. "Why?" she asked again. "Why do all this?" Aaron looked at her. "Because you deserve kindness. Not because you're blind or different or once called a princess, but because you're a Lari, and that's enough." She said nothing, but she leaned her head on his shoulder. For the first time in her life, she felt like she belonged. The next few days on the Silver Wing were peaceful. Lari spent her time building small tools and learning how each part of the ship worked. Aaron was surprised by how quickly she understood everything. Even without seeing, she fixed a broken signal relay and improved the ship's energy use just by listening to the system's hums. "I don't know how you do it," Aaron said with a chuckle. Ilari smiled softly. "Sound tells me everything." Aaron had never met anyone like her. She was calm, gentle, and smart. And though she still moved carefully, her steps were full of quiet strength. One day, ship's scanner picked up a nearby space station. They needed supplies, especially fuel and food. Aaron looked at Ilari. "Do you want to come with me this time?" he asked. Ilari thought for a moment. "If I stay on the ship, will those people come again?" "They might," Aaron said honestly. "But if you're with me, I'll protect you." She nodded slowly. "Then I'll go." They docked at the station. It was bigger than the one where he had first met her. Its flashing lights, loud voices, and crowded halls filled the place. Ilari held on to Aaron's arm as they walked together. People gave them strange looks, some curious, some unfriendly. A few whispered when they saw Ilari that her, "Can't believe he kept her. Look at her. Still looks like a lost thing." Aaron heard it all, but said nothing. Ilari heard it too. Her grip on his arm tightened, but she kept walking. They reached the supply shop and ordered what they needed. The shopkeeper was a tall alien with green skin and wide eyes. He looked at Ilari with a raised brow. "She yours?" Aaron replied calmly. "She's with me." The shopkeeper nodded but kept staring. "But you sure you want her walking around here?" "Not many like her." Aaron's voice stayed even. "Then maybe they need to change." The shopkeeper said nothing after that. As they were loading supplies into a hover cart, a group of traders approached them. Aaron recognized one of them was one of the men who had laughed at Ilari before. He wore shiny clothes and walked like he owned the place. Well, the man said loudly. "Look what we have here, the human and his blind pet." Aaron stood in front of Ilari. "Walk away." The man grinned. "Why?" "I'm just saying hello. I used to own that one." Surprised she's still alive. Ilari didn't speak. She just stood behind Aaron, holding onto his jacket. Aaron said again, firmer, "Walk away." "What?" the man asked, stepping closer. Aaron took one slow step forward. "Last time, you hurt her. This time, you try anything, and you'll deal with me." The man looked into Aaron's eyes and saw something he didn't expect. No fear. With a scoff, the man backed off. "Not worth it." They walked away laughing to themselves, but they didn't try again. Aaron turned to Ellery. "You okay?" She nodded. "I'm not afraid. Not when you're near." He smiled. "And you'll never have to be." They returned to the ship with the supplies. Later that night, while sitting together, Ellery spoke. "They called me a pet. They used to tie a rope to my wrist." Aaron said softly, "They were wrong." "I know," she whispered. "But part of me still feels like I don't belong." Aaron leaned back in his chair. "Can I show you something?" She nodded. He brought a small box and placed it in her hands. Open it. Inside was a badge, smooth, made of light metal. It had her name on it, Telari, and under it, Crew Engineer Silverwing. She touched the words slowly, feeling each letter with her fingers. She held it close. This is real. Yes, Aaron said. You're part of the crew. Now, Ilari wiped her eyes with a smile. Thank you. After that day, Ilari began wearing the badge around her neck. It gave her confidence. She worked beside Aaron like a true engineer, checking systems and making changes to improve their journey. Soon they received a call from a nearby colony asking for help. Their communication tower had failed, and no one could fix it. Aaron and Ilari agreed to go when they arrived. The colony leader was surprised to see a blind alien girl as the ship's engineer. He doubted her at first. Can she really fix our tower? Aaron only smiled. Just wait. Ilari listened to the tower's sound, touched its broken parts, and whispered instructions. She worked slowly, carefully. Within hours, the tower was online again. The leader stared in shock. How did she do that? She listens better than anyone else. Aaron replied proudly. Twadley.Lri turned toward the sound of his voice and smiled. As they left one of the colonies, children ran up to Ilari and handed her a flower. You're amazing, the girl said. Lri held the flower gently. It was soft and warm in her hands. For the first time, she believed Itchy was amazing on the ship that night as they looked out at the stars. Ilari spoke. I never thought I would be more than what they called me. You're more than they'll ever understand, Aaron said. She reached for his hand. Thank you for helping me see even when I can't use my eyes. Aaron held her hand. Thank you for helping me see what truly matters. And in that quiet moment, under the starlight, their friendship grew stronger than ever. A few weeks had passed since Ilari fixed the colony's tower. Word had started to spread not about her past, but about her skills. Small messages were sent to the Silverwing, asking for help from stations and ships that needed repairs. Didn't know a blind alien girl was behind those repairs. They only knew someone clever and quiet was working miracles. Ilari stayed humble through it all. She never asked for praise or rewards. She simply enjoyed helping, learning, and being useful. Her heart felt lighter now, even though her eyes still couldn't see. Aaron noticed the change in her. She walked with more confidence. She laughed. More often, she even made small jokes. Sometimes they sat together in the ship's lounge, talking for hours. He would describe things to her, the color of stars, the shapes of passing ships, or the clouds over alien worlds. She would listen with a peaceful smile. One morning, Aaron woke up early. He'd been working on a secret project for days, and now it was finally ready. He walked quietly to Ilari's room and knocked gently. Ilari, he said softly, can you come with me? I have something to show you. She sat up, still sleepy. A surprise, he said. She followed him through the halls of the ship. Her hand held his arm lightly, though she knew the path well now. They reached a small door near the back of the ship, a door that had always been locked before Aaron opened it. Step carefully, he said. Lri stepped inside. The air felt different, warmer, softer. The floor was smooth, and the scent of fresh plants filled her nose. Birds chirped. Soft music played in the background. She took slow steps. Forward, then stopped. What is this place? She asked, her voice full of wonder. Aaron smiled. I built this for you. It's a garden room. It's artificial light, real plants, quiet sounds. Everything chosen just for how it feels and sounds, not how it looks. Leary's fingers brushed against leaves, soft flowers, and smooth stones. Her face lit up with joy. She knelt down to touch the grass, running her fingers through it as if it were the most beautiful thing in the galaxy. It's perfect, she whispered. Aaron sat beside her. I wanted you to have a place that feels like peace. No voices, no judgment, no past. Ilari reached out and gently touched his hand. I always think about what I need before I even ask. You're my friend, he said. That's what friends do. She laughed softly. I never had. A friend before you? They stayed in the garden room for a long time. She explored every inch, learning each sound and scent. He watched her, knowing that building this space was worth every second of work. Later that evening,
After dinner, they sat near the observation window.
stars stretched endlessly outside, blinking like tiny lights in the dark. Aaron told her what the galaxy looked like, its colors, shapes, and how it spun slowly in the distance. It sounds beautiful, she said. It is, he replied. But sometimes, things that don't look beautiful still have the greatest meaning. Ella returned toward his voice. Like me? Aaron looked at her, surprised. You're not ugly, Alari. But people said I was. People say many things. But what they say isn't always true. She smiled. You never lied to me. I never will. A soft silence settled between them, peaceful, honest, but not far from them. Trouble was waiting. A shadow ship had followed the Silverwing from a nearby station. It belonged to one of the old traders, someone who remembered Alari and didn't like losing what he thought was his. He had watched her on the station, seen her smiling and free, and it had made him angry. She was mine, the trader growled to himself. I'll take her back. His ship stayed out of scanner range, watching. Back on the Silverwing, Aaron worked on tuning the engines. Ilari rested in the garden room, humming quietly to herself. She had never felt more safe then, without warning. The ship shook. Alarms blared. Aaron rushed to the control panel. We're being pulled by a tractor beam. Ilari came running, holding the wall for balance. What's happening? Someone's trying to board us, Aaron said. He opened the screen and saw the shadow ship. It's him, Ilari whispered. She didn't need to see. She recognized the sound of that ship from long ago. Aaron activated the shields. But the beam was strong. The other ship sent a message. Give me the girl, the voice said, and I'll let you go. Aaron's jaw tightened. Never. He moved quickly, powering up the ship's pulse drive. But the beam held firm. Ellery stepped forward. I know his ship. I know its sounds. I can help. Aaron looked at her. How? I remember how it works. I lived on it. I can guide you. Aaron nodded without hesitation. Then let's stop. Himilari stood beside him, listening carefully. His power core is under the mid-level. His beam gets weaker if his left stabilizer spins. Time it right. Aaron waited. Ilari whispered now. He fired the ship's shock burst. The shadow ship rocked. The beam flickered. Aaron hit the engines. The Silverwing shot forward, braking. Free, but the shadow ship followed. He won't stop, Ilari said quietly. Then we make sure he can't follow us, Aaron replied. Ilari reached for the control panel. Turn left at the asteroid belt. I'll guide you through. He won't fit. Aaron trusted her. They flew into the belt. Ilari gave short, clear directions. Up. Now right. Slow. Now hard left. Aaron followed her voice like a song. The shadow ship tried to follow but clipped a large rock. Its front engine burst. Smoke filled space. They were safe. Inside the ship, Ilari stood still, breathing slowly. Aaron looked at her with pride.
Saved us?
She smiled. I only helped. You gave me the courage. Aaron gently placed a hand on her shoulder. Make a good team. Ilari nodded. Yes, we do. And deep in her heart, she felt something warm.
Fear.
Not pain, but something new. Hope. After escaping the shadow ship, the Silverwing moved quietly through deep space. Aaron checked all systems, while Ilari listened for anything unusual. They didn't speak much that first hour. Both of them knew what had just happened could have ended badly. Finally, when everything seemed calm, Aaron sat back in his chair and looked at Ilari. You saved us back there. Ilari stood still for a moment, holding the edge of the console. I only helped. You trusted me. Aaron nodded. Yes, and I always will. A soft smile formed on Ilari's lips. She was still breathing slowly, But there was a calm strength in her voice now. That man, she said. He used to keep me in a dark room. I was always cold, always alone. Aaron listened quietly. He would only let me out when someone came to look at me like a thing on a shelf. She paused, then added, "But this ship, this feels like home." Aaron's voice was warm. "'Cause it is your home now." Laurie reached for the wall and gently touched the surface. "I want to do something." "What is it?" Aaron asked. "I want to build something new for the ship. Something useful. Something that helps others." Aaron smiled. "Then let's do it." The next day, they both started working. Aaron gave her parts from the storage room, old tech, broken systems, unused wires. Alari sat for hours, touching and testing everything. She didn't rush. She felt the shape, weight, and sound of each part. Then she slowly began to connect them. Day by day, the things she built started taking shape. "What are you making?" Aaron asked. "A voice scanner," she said, "for visitors. So we know if they speak with fear, anger, or peace." Aaron blinked. In surprise, "Can that really be done?" Ilari nodded. "When I was a prisoner, I learned to hear emotions. It helped me stay safe. Now I can make it help us too." Soon the scanner was ready. They tested it on different voices. Recorded. Messages from the ship's logs. Ilari adjusted the sound filters, fine-tuned the sensors, and created a small glowing button. "Press this," she explained. "If the visitor's voice changes, if they lie or hide danger, it will glow red. If it's calm, it stays blue." Aaron tested it and smiled. This could help many people. Laurie looked proud. Maybe now no one else has to be fooled by sweet lies. They installed the scanner at the main door. Now before letting any unknown guest aboard, they had a way to. Listen more carefully. It made the ship safer. A week later, they received a message from a science vessel. Their crew had been attacked by raiders and needed repairs and medical help. They were hiding near an empty moon, far from any patrol zone. Aaron and Ilari agreed to help. When they arrived, the vessel looked damaged. Black marks burned across the hull. Its engines were weak, and some of the lights inside blinked like they were struggling to stay on. "We're low on supplies," the captain of the vessel said over the comm. "And our medic is hurt. Please, we need assistance." Aaron asked, "Can we come aboard?" "Yes. It's just the two of you," the captain replied. Aaron looked at Ilari. "Are you ready?" She gave a small nod. "Let's go." As they entered the vessel, the scanner stayed blue. The voices were calm. No danger. Sensed. Still, Aaron stayed alert. They helped repair the engine core and gave the medic some supplies. Laurie moved carefully, feeling each surface. She helped fix a broken coolant valve just by listening to the rhythm of the drip. After 2 hours, everything was stable again. "Thank you," the captain said, clearly exhausted. "We didn't know if anyone would come," Aaron replied. "Everyone deserves help." Laurie smiled and whispered, "Especially those who are forgotten." As they returned to the Silver Wing, Laurie was quiet. She held her necklace, the one with soft musical stones. "Are you thinking about something?" Aaron asked. She nodded. "When I was trapped, no one helped me, not for a long time. I think about how many others are still out there, waiting, scared, like I was." Aaron looked at her gently. "We can't save everyone, Ilari, but we can help who we can." She smiled softly. "Yes, and maybe that's enough." That night, she sat alone in the garden room. The music from the stones played softly. She ran her fingers through the grass and listened to the gentle sounds of the small wind chime. Aaron had hung above her. She felt calm, also strong. The next morning, she handed Aaron a small metal plate. "What's this?" he asked. "A gift," she said. "I made it for the ship." On the plate, carved in tiny, raised letters, were these words: "The Silver Wing, a home for the lost, the broken, and the brave." Aaron read it out loud, then smiled. "This is beautiful, Ilari. You gave me a place to be more than what I was. Now, let's give others that same chance." Aaron nodded. "We'll do it together." They placed the plate beside the main entrance, just under the scanner. Every time someone stepped onto the ship, they would see those words. A few days later, they received another call, this one from a small passenger shuttle stranded near a nebulous storm. And so their journey continued. But now the Silverwing wasn't just a ship, it was something more. It was a promise. A place where someone like Ilaria, blind alien, once called worthless, could become strong, helpful, and full of hope. And for the first time in her life, Ilaria wasn't just surviving, she was living. The Silverwing had become more than just a ship, it was a safe space, a home that traveled through the stars. Offering help where it was needed and giving hope to those who had lost it, Ilaria had changed. She no longer stood quietly in corners. She spoke with strength, fixed systems like a true engineer, and even gave advice to those who came for help. Her voice was soft but steady. Her face, once full of fear, now showed peace and purpose. Aaron watched her with pride. He still remembered the day he had bought her not as property, but as a person no one else had seen the value in. Same girl had become the heart of the ship. One morning, Aaron woke up early to check the long-range scanner. As he sipped warm tea, Ilaria walked into the control room. "You're up early," she said. Aaron smiled. "Just checking the galaxy. It's quiet today." "Quiet is nice," she replied, "but not for long," Aaron added. "We got a message last night. A research outpost is in trouble. Strange signals, power loss, and missing crew." Stepped closer. "We're going?" "Yes. We leave in 10 minutes." As the ship moved toward the coordinates, Ilaria prepared tools and equipment. She had added special sensors to her Kana, a small device that could detect temperature and nearby movement. She built it herself and called it her eyes. When they arrived, the research outpost floated near a dead moon. It looked empty. No lights, no response. The place felt cold, even through the screen. "No sign of life," Aaron said, frowning. "But something is still there," Ilaria whispered. She tilted her head. "I can hear a hum. It's deep, slow, like a sleeping machine." Aaron looked at her. "Can you guide me?" "Yes," she said calmly. "But we must be careful." They docked the ship and stepped inside the outpost. The air was thick. Machines were off, walls cracked, and silence filled every hallway. L.R.E. held her cane forward. The sensor buzzed gently. "Someone was here recently," she said, "but not now." They moved through the dark halls. Suddenly, her cane gave a sharp beep. "Left room," she said. Aaron opened the door. Inside lay an injured scientist, his leg trapped under metal pipes. His face lit up when he saw them. "Help. Please," he whispered. Aaron rushed to lift the pipes while Ilaria spoke softly to the man, keeping him calm. Together, they pulled him out and helped him to sit. "You're safe now," Ilaria said. The scientist looked at her in surprise. You're blind." "Yes," she answered. "But how did you find me?" She smiled gently. "I listened." They took the man back to the Silverwing, gave him food, and treated his wound. Later, when he could walk, he said, "You saved my life. Both of you." Aaron shook his head. "She saved you. I just moved the pipes." After they left the outpost, Aaron and Ilaria sat quietly in the garden room. Birds chirped softly. The lights were low, and the wind chimes swayed above them. "You did something amazing today," Aaron said. Ilaria touched a small flower with her fingers. "It felt right." Aaron nodded. "Do you still think about your past?" she said. "But it doesn't hurt like before. It's part of me. But it doesn't control me." He smiled. "That's called healing." She looked toward his voice. "You helped me become someone I never thought I could be. You were always that person, Ilaria. You just needed space to grow." Her fingers brushed over the necklace. She wore the one with sound stones. It played a soft tune, and she closed her eyes, listening to the music. Her smile gentle. "You gave me everything I never had," she said. "A home, a purpose, and friendship. You gave the same back to me," Aaron replied. "I wasn't lost like you were, but I was alone. No, I'm not." A few days later, they visited a galactic council station to share information about the broken outpost. Many officers and leaders were present. It was the first time Alari stood in front of so many strangers. They stared at her when she entered. The room small, blind, skin marked by age and pain. Some whispered. Others looked confused. Erin stepped aside as Alari walked to the center alone. She lifted her chin and spoke clearly. I was once caged, forgotten, and left to rot. But someone gave me a chance, and now I choose to help others. Not for power, not for fame, but because every soul matters. The room grew silent. She continued. If you judge someone by how they look, you may miss the strongest heart among you. A moment later, the whole room stood in quiet respect. When they returned to the ship, Erin looked at her. You didn't just fix broken engines, Alari. You changed minds, she smiled. And maybe that's the biggest repair of all. They set a new course after that to places where help was needed. Not because they were heroes, but because they were kind. The Silver Wing flew on, across stars and storms. The girl who could not see but understood more than most. And a human who believed that no one was ever truly broken. In the end, Ilari was not a slave. Not a pet. Not even just a survivor. She was a friend, an engineer, and in many ways a light in the darkness. As the ship passed through the stars, Ilari sat beside Erin and whispered, Thank you for buying me that day. Erin looked at her. With a soft smile, No, Ilari, thank you for choosing to stay. And with that, they traveled on to souls who had found something rare in the coldness of spaced hope.